Okay, so now that my eyebrows are filled in, good, that matches. So this is the shade Small Layer, like an even layer, and I make sure I coat everything. Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing today? I hope you're doing good. If you're new to my channel, hey, my name is Ani, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my everyday makeup routine. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you go hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. I'm going to give you guys a side profile, that way I can see myself in the mirror and see what I'm doing. So first thing I start off with is my eyebrows, and it was a point in time where I went through eyebrow blindness when I was filling in my eyebrows way too thick, and I've gotten to the point where like I finally know how to fill my eyebrows in just enough. Like the ends of my eyebrows are like a little bit more faded, so I kind of just try to fill in the ends and kind of just like outline them and then just brush it out. So I just use any retractable black eyebrow pencil. This one is by Maybelline. So I just go ahead and brush them out and then just start like outlining. So I fill them in, and then I go really light with the pencil because, like I said, I don't want it to be thick. I'm just trying to like fill them in to fill in the blanks, but barely. See, this is why I like to do my eyebrows first, because if I mess up, I can always go in with a Q-tip and just like outline it. I usually sometimes mess up right here on like the ends of my eyebrows, so I just like to go in with a Q-tip just to clean it up a little bit. So now that I filled in this eyebrow, as you guys can see, I did the bare minimum. I'm going to go ahead and do my other eyebrow, and then we can move on to the concealer. Okay, so now that my eyebrows are filled in, as you guys can see, I kind of went in and perfected it. I did my other eyebrow. Now they're nice and full, but not too thick. I know they might look a little bit bold now, but I swear I only filled them in a little bit. That's because I don't have the rest of my makeup on. So now we're going to get into concealer. This is an everyday makeup routine, so when it comes down to everyday makeup, I don't do foundation. But whenever I do foundation, I use the Estee Lauder foundation. This is in the shade 4N2. This shade actually matches really good. So the person that helped me find my shade that day at Sephora did a really good job, because sometimes in the past, like, I've had a hard time finding the right shade of concealer. I was lucky to be able to finally find the right shade of foundation. So I only do foundation like for special occasions. Like every day I just do a concealer because I don't really need full coverage. So before I put on my concealer, I'm going to go ahead and with this Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. So I'm not going to put this on my whole face since I'm only putting concealer on. I hate having like a messy vanity while I'm doing my makeup, so I always try to like put my stuff away as I'm using it. So I usually like to let my primer set for a little bit, that way my makeup will stick to my face a little bit better. So now for concealer, we're going to be using Fenty Beauty concealer and the shade 240. I have a lot of Fenty products, but I need to find a new concealer because this shade is a little bit too light for me, and I was literally in Sephora that day for like an hour trying to find a concealer that matches. So this is the shade that I use when I am wearing foundation, because it is a little bit lighter than my skin tone. So it's supposed to be for like brightening the under eye, but I only use like a little bit, and then I mix it with a darker shade. So on top of the Fenty concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and use this concealer by Ilia. It's in the shade SC 3.5 Chia. So this is really dark, so I just blend it in with this one, that way it can match my skin tone a little bit better. And then I'm going to use a beauty blender to go ahead and blend it in. Make sure that when you're doing this, you're like tapping it and not rubbing it, because a lot of people have the habit of like rubbing it, and then it's kind of just like rubbing off the product, and not only are you wasting product, but it's not going to blend into your face properly. And when I'm blending it, I also am making sure that I'm like blending it upwards. And I know for some people this is debatable, but I do blend my concealer on my eyelid. You're not supposed to do that, but I don't really do eyeshadow like that, and I do have bags on my eyes, so I like to like brighten up the top of my eyes a little bit. So I just use the rest of the product that's left on the beauty blender, just to put a little bit on my eyelid, just so they could blend. So like I said, since I'm not doing foundation, this concealer shade is a little bit light, which is good because it brightens up my under eyes since I do have bags under my eyes. But I am gonna put some concealer on my nose as well, that way I could just blend better if my face won't look two different colors. But anyways, like I was saying, I'm gonna put concealer on my nose, that way it could blend better, because right now my nose looks red. And then once again, I am gonna go and put some of the darker shade concealer on top of that too. Okay, so now that my concealer is blended, I am gonna go ahead and with Fenty Beauty translucent powder. This is in the shade Butter 02. So I'm just gonna put a little bit just to set it. I don't like to bake too much, because sometimes when I bake too much, like, or I leave it on there for too long, it does give like a flashback. So I try to do just like a little tiny bit. So under my eyes, like everywhere that you put concealer is where you need to bake, but like especially right here in the corners of my nose. So I'm gonna go with like a little powder brush, and then I'm gonna just like dust it off. So not only do I put concealer on my nose, but I also go ahead and put some concealer like on my upper lip right here. Okay, so this makeup routine is very simple. Like I told you guys, we're literally almost done. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to one of my favorite parts, which is mascara. I have like curly eyelashes, so I like to just take the eyebrow pencil, like the little brush part, and just kind of brush my eyelashes out, because sometimes they could like stick together, especially in the corners. Like the corners usually just be all curled up. My lips always get dry when I'm doing my makeup, so I like to keep like some Vaseline or some chapstick on me. Since I had all that powder on my face, like I have to keep reapplying, because I did put Vaseline on my lips like before I started the video. Okay, so for mascara, we're going to be going in with the Estee Lauder mascara in the shade Extreme Black. This is like a pricey mascara. You don't need to spend a lot of money on mascara. To me, it's really all about the way that the brush looks. I hate the brushes that are like curvy. I just like a brush that's like straight, like this one. You see how this one is like straight? I feel like this is the best kind of brush when it comes down to putting on mascara. I kind of just take the brush. I start like with a small layer, like an even layer, and I make sure I coat everything evenly, especially the corners, like I said. And I kind of start like at the bottom of the lash and then work my way up. I literally do so many layers of mascara just to make it look perfect, since we're not doing lashes. I just keep on applying more layers until I like the way it looks, and until I feel like all of my lashes are fully coated. I don't put any more product on the brush when I'm doing my bottom lashes. I just use the remaining product that's left on the brush to put it on my bottom lashes, because a little bit goes a long way. Okay, so I don't know if you guys could see, look at the difference in between this eye and this eye. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, and then I'm gonna come back, that way we can move on to the next step. Okay, so I'm done with my mascara. As you guys could see, I did forget one thing, which was eyeshadow. I know I told you guys I don't do any eyeshadow, but sometimes I just go in with a little bit of bronzer, and then I just add it to like the ends of my eyes, that way it could give it like a little bit of dimension. But most of the time I don't do that. That's only sometimes. I'm not gonna do that for today. Okay guys, so before I never ever used to use blush, but then I realized that I needed some color into my face. So I did start doing blush, like I think about like last year or maybe 2 years ago. But before that, I literally never used to put blush on my face. So we're gonna go in with Makeup by Mario in the shade Poppy Pink, and it is a really bright pink, so a little bit goes a long way. Now we're gonna go in with the blush. I just like to tap it a little bit, just a little tiny bit, because like I said, it's really bright. And then I just put it at like the higher points of my cheek. And then I just blend it out. If I do put too much blush, I always go in with the brush that I used to put on my powder and kind of just like try to dust it off a little bit. So I know I said mascara was my favorite, but my absolute favorite part of my makeup is my highlight. So this highlight is by Fenty Beauty and it's in the shade Trophy Wife. This is literally the best highlighter I've ever used. I don't know if this will be considered like every day, but I use it whenever I do my makeup. But it is really bright, as you guys can see. Okay, so for my highlight on my nose, I go in with a little brush like this one. So I just take a little bit and put it on the tip of my nose, and then just blend it out with my finger. And then I put a little bit on the bridge of my nose. So, and then on the cheek, I just go in with this like fan brush and take a little bit, and then just kind of put a little bit right on top of my blush. And then I try to blend it out with my finger. I usually don't have to, but today I want to keep it simple. I'm going to blend it out with my finger. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Fenty Beauty bronzer, and it's in the shade Caramel Cutie. So I just tap the brush on the product and then kind of dust it off a little bit, and then I just put it on my cheekbones. I really don't put makeup on my forehead, but sometimes I do put bronzer on my forehead, but today I'm not going to. I'm gonna just put some bronzer like right here at the bottom of my chin and on my jawline. Of course, right when I'm about to film a video for my makeup, my face wants to break out. I forgot that I had like 2 beauty marks on my face, one right here and then another one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up with some concealer. So I just take my beauty blender and I blend it in a little bit. I don't blend it in all the way, just like mostly, that way it could cover everything. Okay, so now that we're done with most of my face, now we're going to move on to the last step, which is going to be lips. So I keep it very simple with lips because on an everyday basis I don't usually use like lip gloss. I kind of just use chapstick or Vaseline and just keep it pushing. But if I do have a little bit of makeup on, then I just go in with like a brown liner. This one is by NYX in the shade brown. So this is just like a regular lip liner, so I just gotta make sure that my lips are dry before I put it on. And not only do I put the lip liner like on the outlines of my lip, like I also try to like blend it into the center a little bit, that way it could look better, because we don't want to be looking crazy. So now that I put on my lip liner, I'm gonna go ahead and with my e.l.f. lip oil, and this is in the shade Red Delicious. Ever since I started using this lip oil, like I literally don't use anything else. Okay, so that's pretty much gonna be it for my everyday makeup routine. As you guys can see, very simple. I don't usually do makeup every day, so when I do put makeup on, I do keep it very simple and I do like the bare minimum. This is the finished product. So that's pretty much gonna be it for today's video. If you guys want to see more beauty videos, let me know in the comments below. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below any video suggestions that you guys would like to see me do. Make sure to turn your post notifications, that way you can be notified every single time that I upload a new video and you could be the first one to watch my video. And girl, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then stop what you're doing right now and go hit that subscribe button. With that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.